Hello, this is Mike, NoStressMike.com. Let me see if you can see. Yeah, there's the police. They're doing a traffic stop in front of the hotel, and but like I say, it's I said I look for good people. I work with good people. Last night I worked. I donated. I got a stray dog. It was a German Shepherd. I brought it back. It was thinned down. It was off the street, and I fed it, took it to the vet, got it taken care of. Started feeding it, started taking care of it. Had 2 days of sleeping and eating and sleeping, all good. And then it got strong and healthy. I trained it for 3 days, and it got better and better all the time. And then they're sprucing up. They're sprucing up the place. But I trained it for 3 days. I got it to do some basic obedience, enough obedience that it's two years old, and enough obedience when I thought it started. It wouldn't fit into my lifestyle. It was a little more aggressive than what I need right now. So I went down to the police department and donated it to the police department. And they don't have a canine unit, and they don't know how it works. So I helped them develop a canine unit. So they do that now. And I worked with them, and we went out on patrol, and I showed them how to handle the dog, how to get a good positive response with the dog, and changing everybody's attitude. And it was an experience when I went in to the department. For one thing, I don't speak much of the language. I took a friend that was used for a translator, and it's a cool story by itself, but it's nothing that I can share on YouTube. But I made a lot of friends, and changed a lot of attitudes, and that's what I do, is I improve people's attitudes. And the reason is, if they don't have a good attitude, they can become a threat to me. And I don't really want a threat. I'd much rather have more friends than threats. Now, this is something that we all should be sharing, the idea of making friends. Now, I'm sure a lot of these people, I would take them home to meet my mother. They're that good of a friend. Now, would I go into battle with these people? Right at the first, probably not. The relationships aren't that strong, but we have the makings of a relationship. Right now, well, I'm going to go on and continue using the police as an example. Up to now, what you just saw with the police over there, I just gave them some water. I've been giving them bottled water all the time. whenever they set up in front of the hotel, I give them a bottle of water. And the reason is I live at the hotel. The hotel is closely connected to me. So in other words, when somebody says Hotel de Campo down here, the ones that know me will respond with, oh, they know the guy down Hotel de Campo. And so far it's been a positive thing. Like I say, when I got into it with the union people, I didn't mention Hotel de Campo with them. Hey, mucho trabajo.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Good. See, they're working hard. But like I say, I try to keep a positive. Keep the words Hotel de Campo as a positive sound to people. Most of the people here can't afford to stay here, but I want them to be able to know this is a good place. It's a safe place. And we need to do that in all aspects of our life. I talk about the three-man militia. I talk about the area I've been working on in Oklahoma. And we make it a positive feeling for the people in our area and the people surrounding our area. I want their areas to be secure and peaceful. And this way we're not taking in refugees from them. And also, in case something happens to us, we're going to be refugees going to them. So, I mean, shit as fan comes in all kinds of ways. I mean, tornado could hit our community. We're going to need help from surrounding communities. So, there's things like that we need to be focused on as people. Now, can we do that? Can we use that same type of mentality when it comes to nations, neighboring nations, being able to communicate with these nations, have a relationship with these nations? Can we do that? I would say no, and the reason we can't is because of all the corruption in government. Government is not people. What I've learned is, as I've got older and older, I see it. It's been more. It's in your face. It's just, do you want to open your eyes? But people in government are not people. People down here realize the American government terrorizes them. They know that. But they know the American people are good people. So we're two different identities, the American people and the American government. The American government is no different now. It is no different than any other government. It's corrupt. It's worthless. It's a tyrant to its population, just like all the other governments. The only thing that separates us now is our weapons. It used to be we had a moral superiority over the rest of the world. We've lost that superiority. Now we're just down to weapons. Now, do we have the nerve and the gumption? And is there enough Americans still in our souls that we can use these weapons? That's the one question that I have personally. And I am sure there's many nations that are thinking that right now. It was some Japanese general, I think, when they were talking in World War II, when they were talking about the emperor wanted to invade the United States, and he mentioned at that time, he says, we would be faced with guns, people shooting at us, behind every blade of grass. So he was really more focused on the weapons. Okay, now I think it was Italy, one of the, I don't know if it was Mussolini or somebody in Italy, when he mentioned that the only thing that he feared about messing with the United States was their moral superiority, because we ran on morals. We weren't told what to do. We knew the proper thing to do, and we would do the morally proper thing. So by putting those together, guns and morals, both Italy and Japan realized it's not going to be a pretty thing messing with the Americans. Like I say, we still have the weapons. We have lost our moral superiority in the way of numbers. The population, a bigger percentage of the population had morals back in World War II days. Now, I don't know for a fact. I don't know if it's the number of people with good morals or the idea of good morals that makes the difference. Will the strong morals pull us together as Americans? I don't know. I talk about you need to exercise your morals. You need to stand by your morals to strengthen them. And that's because I took it for granted that you all have already got the weapons. But it's not going to be weapons alone that's going to keep us free. It's not the weapons alone that's going to keep outside occupiers from coming in. It's not going to be weapons alone that's going to be keeping the evil from within, with already just within our borders. It's not going to be that. It's going to keep them from trying to devour us, U.S. We need to strengthen up physically and emotionally. This is Mike, NoStressMike.com.